Alrighty guys, welcome back to Fog Wrestling for your very late but very in-date AEW Dynamite quarter reviews. It's like 3 a.m. in the morning, the numbers are out, so we need to dissect the numbers, we need to look at the numbers. We know that AEW Dynamite is almost down 200,000 viewers from last week, and now we're going to look at the quarters and we're going to see who is to blame in the quarter hours rating breakdown. So, we kick off the show in quarter one, 8 o'clock to 8:15, with MJF and Will Ospreay having a live promo, and then Lance Archer versus Will Ospreay in the opening match. Now, this starts at the show with 656,000 views. That is probably the lowest opening quarter I can ever recall AEW Dynamite having. Now, I know sometimes the Big Bang Theory hasn't come on, or it hasn't been on, and the lead-in to Dynamite has been pretty poor, but I've never seen it this low. 656,000 views. Now, in fairness, what this did mean was there wasn't much of a drop-off throughout the show, but when you're starting with a number this low, then of course it's hard to lose viewers because your core audience is pretty much there. Normally we see Dynamite start off around the mid 800 to 900,000 territory in quarter one. I mean, it used to be 900, mid 900, but it's went down since then. But over the past few months, quarter one's been pretty consistent. You're normally getting at least 800,000 viewers, and then it's beginning to drop. This week though, only 656,000 viewers, with 230,000 viewers in the 18 to 49 demo. We move into quarter two, 8:15 to 8:30. It was Archer versus Ospreay continued. We got a post-match with MJF, Kyle Fletcher, Don Callis, and then a Swerve Strickland video, and this went down 9%. 9% loss for quarter one to quarter two. Very concerning. You have Archer versus Ospreay. We hear how Ospreay is the best wrestler in the world. He's going for the, international or the USA title, whatever MJF's calling it these days. He's going for that belt. And then after that, you had a Swerve Strickland video, your world champion. And this quarter went down 9% to 599,000 views. Not good. And in the key demo, they went down 7% to 214,000 views. So, yeah, it's not good that they can put on their top guys. You'd Ospreay, MJF, and Swerve Strickland all in quarter two, and it still went down 9%. We then go into quarter three, 8:30 to 8:45. We got a Learning Tree backstage promo, and then Will Nightingale versus Statlander. This only went down 1% to 593,000 views, but the key demo went up 4% to 223,000 views. So Jericho will be claiming he is the demo god. And I said in the Dynamite review that Jericho wasn't on this show. The Learning Tree backstage promo must have been a very short promo, because I honestly don't remember it on the show. I didn't see it on the show. So yeah, it must have been quick, because I didn't even notice Jericho was on this show. But numbers there looking pretty good. Only a 1% loss in viewership, but a 4% increase in the demo. And we know Jericho will spin this. Every time Jericho is in a quarter where the number goes up, he brags about it. Anytime he's involved in a quarter where it tanks, he just doesn't mention it. So, that's how Chris Jericho does these things. Quarter four, 8:45 to 9 p.m. We get Nightingale versus Statlander continues. Post-match with Stokely Hathaway. We get Jeff Jarrett, Bryan Danielson backstage, and then we get the Danielson live promo. This went up 1% in viewership to 601,000, and in the key demo, it went up 237,000 views. So up 6% in the key demo to 237,000 views, and up 1% in the viewership. We go into quarter five. We get the Danielson promo continued with Strickland, and then we get Danielson Jarrett backstage, followed by the six-man tag Roderick Strong, Rush, the Beast Mortos, and the Conglomeration. And this went up 7% to 645,000 viewers, almost matching the opening quarter. And the key demo went up 8%, taking the key demo to 257,000 views, and this was the highest rated key demo of the show. So, I mean, no surprise here, really. The segment with Daniel Bryan, the quarter with Daniel Bryan, is the one that went up to 645 and the one that had the highest key demo of the show. Biggest increase, 7% in viewership, 8% in key demo. Am I shocked? No. You look at the people on this show, Bryan Danielson is probably the biggest draw. So, you look at the numbers, YouTube clips, media clips, Bryan Danielson is probably the one guy that brings in the numbers. I mean, it was Adam Copeland, but then he got injured. At the moment, it's Bryan Danielson. But I've always been consistent. I've always said Bryan Danielson for AEW is one of their bigger draws, and he is. If you're going to look for someone to, have high clips in the YouTube views, or you're going to look for someone to try and increase the rating in the quarters, Bryan Danielson is normally that guy. Quarter 6, we get the continuation of that 6-man tag. We then get the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn backstage, and we've got a Mariah May backstage promo. This went down 9%, 584,000, not good. But in the key demo, it went down 14%, which is horrible, down to 221,000. So 14% of people tuning out. And let's be honest, who wants to watch a 6-man tag with Strong, Rush, and the Beast Mortos versus the Conglomeration? 6 fucking jobbers, that's all we have there. Then we got the Acclaimed, overrated, with 60-year-old Billy Gunn, and we have Mariah May backstage wearing a lot of clothes. I mean, who wants to see that? Maybe if Mariah May was backstage in a bikini, the numbers would have been up, but yeah, nah, just I don't blame the people for tuning out there. Quarter 7, 9:30 to 9:45, we got the Toni Storm ramp angle. We then got Camille versus Brittany Jade, our Mercedes Moné live promo. And then we got Hangman Adam Page versus Darby Allin. This went up 2% to 598,000 viewers. And in the key demo, it went up 10%. So they got most of the key demo back that they previously lost, up to 242,000 viewers in the 18 to 49. And then in quarter 8, 9:45, 10 p.m, the continuation of Hangman Adam Page versus Darby Allin, down 1% in viewership to 590,000 views, and down 9% in the key demo to 221,000 views. But it didn't stop there, because we had an overrun of 5 minutes. Hangman Adam Page versus Darby Allin, post-match continuation. This finished the show, went up 5% in viewership to 617,000 views, and in the key demo, it went up 8%, pretty much just gaining back everything that was lost in quarter 8, up to 238,000 in the 18 to 49 demographic. So there's your numbers. The opening quarter was highest in viewership. That had MJF, Will Ospreay live promo, followed by Archer versus Ospreay, and in key demo, it was quarter 5 that was the strongest. And obviously that featured the Danielson live promo with Strickland, Danielson and Jarrett backstage, and then Roderick Strong in that shitty 6-man match that nobody cared about. So there's your numbers. That is it for Dynamite. I mean, very, very poor rating there, but the numbers were pretty solid. But like I said, there wasn't massive drop-offs, but when the numbers are that low, it's hard to lose a shitload of viewers starting off at 656,000. That might be the lowest ever, opening quarter I've seen for Dynamite. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't recall seeing an opening quarter that low, and it obviously affected them big time. So yeah, Tony Khan, a bad week for him. He had back-to-back shows where he almost got back to 800k, but you look at those shows, he had championship matches, he had champion versus champion, he had the blood and guts that was built for a while, Team Elite versus Team AEW. He had to put a lot of his best stuff on those shows just to get them anywhere near 800k. So that seems to be the situation that Dynamite is in now. They need to basically put on a pay-per-view in order to just try and get close to 800k, and when they don't, then they get nowhere near it. So yeah, I'm going to make a prediction. I don't think AEW will hit 800k again this year. There's just nothing to suggest they will. It's going to take one show with like every single star that Tony Khan has. I mean, he's got Adam Copeland coming back for injury probably at the end of the year. Maybe that can do something. Maybe he can bring in a couple of signings. But in terms of big name draws, I mean, who is there? If he brought in like a Brock Lesnar or a Shane McMahon, I'm sure that would 100% do over 800,000. But it's probably going to take a big signing like that in order for them to get back there. And even if they do get over 800k, I mean, how long are they going to keep it for? Probably 1 week, 2 weeks at the most. So yeah, AEW, it just sucks right now. I mean, it's kind of always sucked, but I prefer the AEW at the beginning when it was more of the original roster. I mean, pretty much after the first, year and a half, 2 years, it was just Tony Khan bringing in every WWE reject, bringing in every guy that he possibly could from Japan and from Mexico. And this roster is just, it's flooded. The roster's flooded, but not with talent. You know, it's not like the 2002 WWE roster where it was stacked with talent. This roster's stacked high with shit. So, yeah, Tony Khan's got a problem. And you know what? I hope he does. I hope he does hire Shane McMahon, or I hope Shane McMahon does buy AEW. It'd be something different. Could you imagine a McMahon owning AEW and going up against WWE? I think that'd be great. I'd like to see it. Anyway, guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Till then, peace.